An important work to study and read and to study is the works of GERALD MASSEY. We wanted to do actually a video basically in praise of GERALD MASSEY. I know some may find it shocking. Why are you going to praise GERALD MASSEY? Wasn't he another white boy, a peck of wood, or like some people would say that? But hold up for a moment. GERALD MASSEY was an honest white man. On the intellectual level, GERALD MASSEY was like John Brown. In other words, as John Brown was or is accepted and believed to be that one who stood up for black rights or the enslaved Africans, even at the cost of his own life, on the intellectual level, and especially vis-a-vis Egyptology, GERALD MASSEY is likewise. GERALD MASSEY, at a time which was before his time, openly opposed the false white supremacists and global white supremacy's Aryanology, you understand, or the false Eurocentric Egyptology. And he basically said bluntly and plainly that Egypt, as well as the Bible's origins, are African and are black. And not that he just said this, but he proved it. And if you look up GERALD MASSEY, he's known mostly as a poet. But it's very interesting that his best works are Egyptological and are ancient Egypt. So we definitely will refer you to anyone who's really interested to GERALD MASSEY's works, such as Ancient Light of the World, Natural Genesis, the Book of the Beginnings. Then these works have also his lectures, the GERALD MASSEY's lectures. I think what we need to do is actually put some of these links up there, and also make available some of the PDFs. The PDFs are actually out there. You can Google some of them, and some of them you can find and download and print out or read on your computer or your one of these type of devices that they have, technological devices. There's a lot of different names for them. We're not going to go through all those, like your iPod or your iBook or so forth and so on. But what we're speaking on right now is the feast and the festival of the true cross, or the festival of the cross, the feast of the cross, the finding of the cross, or as it was known in ancient Ethiopia or Tobia. Ancient Ethiopia was known as the hiding of the cross. But what is the cross? And as we mentioned from the outset, this subject matter, because there's so much disinformation out there, we don't want to just approach this particular subject matter without first preparing the ground. And a part of preparing the ground is to do this particular preview or preliminary reasoning. And the first thing we wanted to do is just to announce to ones that this is the meskel Baal, or this is the feast of the cross, and to say to one and all, Inquan le meskel lu Baal bedachna aderesawo aderesachu. Congratulations that he, Ha Elohim Baruchu Ekziavi Herlotu Subhat, has brought you safely to the feast and to this feast time and to this feast season. So Inquana le meskalua Baal besalamina bedesita aderesawo aderesachu. Now, what does cross mean biblically? What does tree mean? How is the cross associated with the tree? And what does this story about Queen Eleni, or Helena, the mother of the first supposed Roman so-called Christian emperor of Rome, her going about to find the wood of the cross and her finding this wood of the cross, what does it really mean? As we mentioned from the first part, that is an ANKH. An ANKH is a riddle. An ANKH also has misalayawi kwankwa, or parabolic, metaphorical speech to it. So, unless one really first of all, is initiated. They just believe that, well, this feast and festival which Ethiopia keeps is just based on the the Roman Emperor Constantine's mother's finding of a piece of the wood in Jerusalem. But here's what's very interesting, just to give you a